Hey, what's up? It's John from Dowie Farm. I'm out working on my junky boat today, and I've scoured the internet for information on these Moeller fuel tanks. I have a Moeller, what do we got here? I bought it a while ago. I bought it, obviously, in '09. These are the crosslink poly tanks from Moeller. They're a below deck tank, technically. I'm using it above deck, but I just have this mounting kit that they sell that holds it down. This thing kind of goes onto here, and you just kind of screw it down right there, one on each side, and you got them above, you know, a permanent fuel tank. And I got it mounted up under the bow of my runabout here, my old Starcraft, and it just goes up in that bow area. And I have just enough room to get to all my other stuff, which is great, and it's up out of the way, so I have more room back here. My boat's a disaster because I haven't taken it out in a few years, but used to have the fuel tank right back there on the ground next to that VRO tank, but this gives me a little more space, right? So I put this tank in a few years ago, and I didn't use it, but even if I had it, the same thing would happen. So check this out. This is the drop tube, right? The fuel, what's the word? The fuel pickup tube they sell you. Look at what it's doing. It's crazy. It's like just marred to death, and it's like very easy to, it's very brittle now. Like this part just snapped right off, and that was the bottom. And then I have the attachment here. Let me just set this down for a sec. Hang on, sorry. Yes, okay. So I know I'm halfway through the job here, but I decided there's no information on the internet about this crap. So I have this piece. It's a little marred now. It looks like it's aluminum. But what happens is this piece sits down in here, and this is a push-in style, okay, with a couple O-rings. And there's a little bit of information out there telling you to put some kind of lubricant on the O-rings and to use the installation instructions will tell you how to install this part for your fuel line. Anyway, so this part goes into the tube basically like this. Okay, it's sitting in this pickup tube. All right, down in there. That part that was on there is like completely gone because I had to destroy it to get it off. To take this to, oh my God, this little chipmunk over here is making so much noise. To take this to, I took it to an auto parts store. So I did a little research on what I can do that won't give me like a 2-year shelf life on this thing, right? I mean, this is just insane that they would even use a material like that. It would just die. Anyway, I ended up buying this submersible fuel line at O'Reilly's Auto Parts. It's like a local chain. But anyway, you can look it up, or I'll throw it in the show notes, what kind of fuel line you're looking for. But this is designed inside and out to resist fuel. And they design it for fuel pumps in cars where you have to have or I think it's in cars, where you have to have a you know, a lot of times a short section of fuel line inside the tank these days. It was $30. So this new piece with everything, oh, there goes my O-rings, shit. This new piece with everything, same as it is originally, would be $14 plus shipping. So I doubled up the price. I'm going to try to reuse this piece with these O-rings. And I'm just going to attach it. Now, I bought, this is a 3/8 hose line, inside diameter. I bought a 5/16, I believe. Let me double check. Doesn't say. Oh, look, they gave me a military discount, even though I've never been in the military. That was nice of them. Maybe I look like it. Oh. Yeah, 5/16 by a foot, which works out good because it needs to be a foot deep, all right? They make these in a few different depths, and they're pretty standard in depth, but they'll be a different size. The other dimension will be different. Anyway, let's back up a little. So what I've already done here is I have this nut that goes on, and I didn't really know what I was doing because there's really no information out there about this. But this nut sits on here like this, and this is pressed in, okay, like that. And when you twist this nut, it stops at this, so it's hard to get this off. But what I learned was I didn't know this was in here. I was freaked out about breaking everything, but I just cranked this nut off, and it kind of pulled this up. And I had a screwdriver under there to assist, and a pair of vice grips on there at some point that did nothing, even though that's the instructions, right? Is pull it out with vice grips. Good luck. You look like you're going to rip the whole tank apart when you do that. I just used this, and I twisted this until it pushed this up off. All right, great. So that worked. And then this tube came out, but this part broke off inside the tank, right? Which is just fucking great. And then there is a screen on the end of it. I don't know what I did with it now, but whatever. It's just a little piece of stainless steel screen that goes on the end of this that there's a pickup filter. Anyway, what I did was I used this grabber tool to get the, you know, see the grabber tool, you push the button and you get these. Ooh, you got to get a good one. It's nice and long. Use this grabber tool to get that tube out of the tank, right? And then, because I got 3/8 inch or 5/16, sorry, inch, this will fit down through here. So the challenge is getting something that will fit on this inlet very tight, because you don't want to not have something on here that's wicked tight, all right? Because you can't get a clamp on that because it won't fit back down through this hole. So you really just need this to be super, super tight. And I'm hoping that once I get this on here, it'll still push down through. It may not. Like, it may be too thick even after I put this on, but it's going to be worth a try. It'll probably be a struggle, but I'm gonna make it happen. And then what I do is I use my grabber tool to pull this end up through the inlet, the fill hole. You could also take this off if you wanted to, which would be easier to get it through, but then you're taking this off, and that's for the sending unit. Anyway, pulled it up through, and now I'm going to put something with a 5/16 fitting on there, or a screen. They do sell these pickup screens on Amazon for, I want to say it was almost $20. So I'm going to be into this for like 50 something. But I know that this isn't going to die in 2 years and leave all these flakes and shit in my fuel. So I'm going to put something on the end of this, whether or not it's a filter. I probably could just put a gas tank style, or like a lawn and garden filter on there. All I need is chunks not to come up in and screw up this at this stage. And then I have a fuel filter downline. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stick something in the end of this. I got it clamped up with some vice grips right now. I'm going to stick something in the end of this, drop it back down in, right? Because you can't fit it through here. This is the same tube. It goes up and under, right? And then also that'll give this some weight, which will hopefully keep it down in the tank better. And you could probably get something that's heavier than usual. Like maybe even, I'm thinking, one of these fuel filters that you can get from Moeller. It seems to be a good company, but I'll be honest with you, their support sucks. I have 4 calls into these people to ask a question, and no one called me back. So that's annoying. Anyway, one of these filters is pretty weighted. That might be a good idea. Just drop one of those down in there. I don't know. We're going to try something. I hope that doesn't restrict flow too much. I don't think it will with this little 40-horse motor. Anyway, there's not a lot of info out there on this kind of crap on the internet, so it is what it is. I'm going to head up to the marine store, poke around and see what I can find, and maybe I'll come back and show you what I'm going to do as far as the end of this hose goes. And that's that, man. Hey, thanks for watching, and I know there's not a lot of info out there. Sorry, I'm kind of amateurish here on this stuff, but I just kind of do what I can, you know, whatever. Thanks. Bye-bye.